I've pressed it, mate. It's too late.
Don't press it yet. Don't press it, mate. We're not ready.
It's tough, mate. The time is now. Time is now.
On
Hello,
that
everybody.
On that note, happy Monday.
Happy Monday. Tired Monday, but happy.
Well, there's something that will perk you up. My missus heard this over the weekend and she was doing this on the couch. Like she didn't know that I was watching it. It's so funny. I was like, can you imagine everybody, wherever they are, if they're in their office, if they're in the toilet at work skiving, if they're in their car, or if they're working from home, everybody right now is just like, oh, yeah.
I mean, the Greek version is definitely the best one.
Ma.
Well, we had a lot of appreciation for it, man.
A lot of people said they like it, but even more didn't say anything, mate. And you know what that means?
It means they loved it.
No. Sorry, mate. Sorry to break it to you, Boo. That's not how it works.
It means that they were too busy dancing and they couldn't type.
This is true.
The music just lifted them off their seat.
For all the guys that work at Ministry of Sound, maybe. How's your Monday going so far?
Monday is going well, mate. It's going well. I woke up to a sea of green.
I saw that post. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. I went to we'll mention the C word quickly. I went to sleep. I sent you a bit of breakdown, didn't I? But I went to sleep during the bloodbath of the crypto wars yesterday. Sea of red. It was just crazy, flashing like, yeah. Anyway, but good fun. And I placed the buy limit order at 29.7 and it came down to 31 while I was asleep. So I didn't get filled on Bitcoin. But who knows? We'll talk about it tomorrow. But you got a sea of green, my friend. Very good stuff. Doubled your money again.
Yeah, it was a nice. I had a good, strong feeling last night. At the market.
You had a good feeling.
I had a real intuitive feeling that the markets were about to rebound overnight. So I put the kids to sleep and jumped on my PC and was like a wizard placing orders. Literally, it was like, right, that one. I just like went through my list. I was like, okay, 10. I've reached my 10. That's it. I'm done. So there's probably more, but I just literally, I said, I'm just going to risk, $4K, $400 in each one.
As you do.
And yeah, it's doubled so far.
Well, that's why you're a professional and I'm the host.
Maybe.
Can you imagine if we ever reversed the roles of the show? It'd be a pretty quick show, wouldn't it?
Well, I'm sure you'll get there, mate.
Especially after what you told me off air as well. That's be a very short show. Very, very, very short show.
You're going to prison, mate.
Shut up. Right, let's get some housekeeping out of the way. So this is Pips Like a Pro, the live show for the free but private Facebook group, the Crypto and FX Traders Club, which 95% of you are members. So welcome. If you're new, this is a show we do it twice a week live. So we're talking about all things FX for the next hour or so. And then tomorrow we'll be talking all things cryptos in our show, Crypto Like a Pro tomorrow. However, we are also streaming live on YouTube. So if you're watching on YouTube or if you're watching on Facebook, give us a shout and we'll give you a mention and just generally engage in the show if you can, please. We don't mind lurkers. When I'm on a Facebook live, I'm very currently and regularly a lurker. However, if you can just put a hi or a yes or fast finger or whatever it is, just engage with us on the show. The reason being is it helps our Facebook algorithm juice. And that gets us out to even more people across the Facebook galaxy. So with that being said, let's crack on with some of the mentions. So Facebook user, if you're not new, what's your excuse? But can you click on the StreamYard link so that we can see your name and a picture, just like Mr. Andrew McAlpine. And we'll try and stop Andy from saying anything that offends your wife this week.
I think I offended a few women last time. I got a few messages of like, what am I thinking? That type of...
Well, yeah. And I thought that live, but I didn't really. I just like to see you dig, my friend. But we got it back in the end.
No,
we pulled it back. And
Andrew's
still tuning in, so we can't be that bad. Gideon, watching on YouTube, thank you very much for proving that what I just said was true. Giannis is in the house. How you doing, mate? Good to see you.
That's not how you say his name.
What did I say?
If you're going to say it in an English way, say Yanis.
What did I say?
Janice is a woman's name. Yanis.
Oh wow!
Come on, man.
What I said, Giannis.
Yeah, you said Janice. That's like yeah, that's a lady's name.
That's true.
Yeah. We'll do some. I'll teach you some Greek stuff after this show.
That's probably not. If you're not going to do it now, then I don't really like to talk to you outside of the voice. Especially if it's going to feel like I'm back at school. Not for me, mate. Not for me. Thanks a lot. Dan, Tyler.
Yeah, see that what you can do.
Version. Not happy about that. Not happy about that, mate.
Well done, Dan. Good man.
No. So every week we do a competition. Who can be the first person to comment? It started off as a little game, and now it's just becoming quite competitive. I put in the promo teaser. Please, can someone knock Slawomir off his perch? And Andy Demi will give you a prize. People have tried, but they have failed. Slawomir prevails again. Great photo, Slawomir. You are the champion.
Slawomir. How does he do it? He said last time in our Q&A, he said that it's a secret he has. he has a secret, and he may put a guide together in the future. A free PDF guide.
We can help with that. Comment like a pro. Taking all the comment sections.
Comment like a pro. I love it. I love that. Brilliant.
That's what I do, mate.
It'll be free for the first 50 downloads.
you stick to the trading, boo-boo, and I'll do the rest. That's why we make a good team.
I like that. Comment like a pro.
But yeah, no, I want to know your secret sauce. But in all fairness, please, we need someone tomorrow. Just literally just 1 second before midday, someone try and knock the champion off his perch. Oh, by the way, congratulations to all Liverpool fans. Somehow you managed to sneak into the Champions League spot.
There's the man.
What's that?
Jurgen.
Oh, is that Klopp? Okay.
Yes.
Fair play, mate.
Third place, mate. Not bad for considering the season.
Considering the season, and we finished sixth, which I'm very happy about. And for all West Ham fans, there are a couple of West Ham fans here. If you don't like football, just bear with me for 10 seconds because I don't get to say this very often. Arsenal fans, Spurs fans, hello. Greetings from a West Ham fan. How'd you like those apples? Right, let's crack on with the show. So this week, we are going to be talking about what are the biggest habits of a successful and consistent trader. Because obviously, whether you're new to trading or whether you've been trying to do it for a while, one of the biggest things is about habits and creating successful routines that can help you go from novice to someone that can start to make a bit of money, to starting to be consistent, to maybe even then doing it full time. And there's obviously different grades and different variations of how much you need to do and how much you need to achieve depending upon your lifestyle goals and your expenses. But let's start at the very beginning. And if you can talk to us about some of the common things that people aren't doing, and then give us kind of a solution as to what they could replace that with instead, please.
Yeah, definitely. So I think what's probably surprising for people, and people may not believe this, but I think the biggest reason that people don't make consistent income from trading, why a lot of people don't make consistent income from trading, is because they are inconsistent in their own lives. So what do I mean? Well, you can go and learn how to read a chart, how to find probability on your side, how to do the fundamentals, all the different tools that will give you a better than 50-50 chance of making money, right? Because I always give this analogy, this example, and people can relate to it. You know, if I say to you heads up, tails down, and we have an equal target up, equal target down, you're a break-even trader. You're a 50-50 winner, right? You win 50% of the time. So surely, if you can read technical analysis, if you have the tools that we provide you, the education that we share with you here all the time, your own understanding of the markets, why would you not make any money? And for me, it's to do with your habits and how consistent you are in what you do. So let me explain. You know, there'll be times where you will set a plan, you create your trade plan, you're at a level way higher than everybody else because you've got a plan now. It doesn't have to be the best plan in the world. That's where people are mistaken. They think, oh, you know, it's okay, but I need to improve it. I need to do this to it. Yeah, of course you do. And you will improve it over time. But you are at that level right now. And that's what you know. And you have a plan. You have an idea of why you're going to take a trade, why you're not going to take a trade, right? So this plan is great. However, what happens? Well, the human happens, the human element. So the human has to execute that plan. And what is required to execute that plan? It is like planning your own life and being ready to take that plan. And that's the biggest hurdle that people have. So one of the important habits that you want to try and easily improve is your exercise regime. So you should really be exercising 3 times a week. I believe everybody should be doing a morning meditation before they trade. A 5-minute meditation, just focusing on the breath. Doesn't have to be anything fancy. You don't need to go to like some special center to do meditation. You just sit still place, you know, and just relax your mind. If you want to use something like an app, Headspace is fine. You've got free version on Headspace, it's absolutely fine. Calm mind, focus, make the time. I think the other thing that's really good to do is to be consistent in the time that you look at the charts, as consistent as possible. Are you a morning person? Are you an evening person? Ideally, like if you're working, you want to choose one or the other. Have a set time. Ideally, have a set time when you go to bed. Ideally, like you can kind of you can have a little bit of leeway. One little trick actually that I use is you can have an off day. So people don't like regime, especially traders or wannabe traders. They don't like it, right? And I'm one of those people. That's why I kind of a big part of working for other people I didn't really enjoy or like, because I don't like to be restricted in what I do. Mm-hmm. So then in trading, you kind of have to create your own restrictions, which is a bit of a weird space to be. So you're creating the restrictions, but you have to kind of follow them if you want to succeed at trading. So I like the idea of having a day off of that regime. So that could be like midweek. So that could be like, okay, so what if every, on Monday, on Sunday night, you go to bed at a certain time, say by 10 a.m., by 10 p.m. at the latest, you're in bed to sleep. You wake up at 5:30 a.m. and you do your market analysis between 6 and 7 or 6 and 7:30 before you have to go to work. Now, if you can do that consistently, you do that on Monday, do that on Tuesday, but then on Wednesday, maybe that could be you do what you want. You wake up when you want. You don't have to do any analysis on the Wednesday, and you go to bed when you want. You just go to work and you don't do anything on the Wednesday. And then you resume that regime back again on the Thursday and then the Friday. And then on the Saturday, I think is the time where you should be doing your weekly review. So that's a really good habit to have. So every Saturday, review all the trades that you took, no matter how much money you may have lost, don't not do it. Because when you're making money, you're happy to do it. When you're not and you've had a bad week, what do we do, Gavin? Normally, we bury our heads in the sand, right? We don't want to look. You don't want to see the damage. You just don't want to, you had a bad week. But that's the most important time. Get out of that bad habit. That you need to change that habit to say that's exactly when you must do it. Because think about this. What would an unsuccessful trader do here? And like, if you always ask yourself that, what would an unsuccessful trader do versus what would a successful trader do? And even when you don't feel like it, you definitely know what you should be doing. And it's just whether you have something inside you to do it when you don't feel like it. And we've spoken about it on other shows. That's why it's a must that you have big goals. If you don't have a vision board, a vision of why you're doing this work, you're only going to be in it when it's going well. But when it goes wrong, you're going to feel horrible. You're going to give up. You're going to want to break your rules, all those bad habits. And that's when they come in. So correct me if I'm wrong, guys. Let me know in the chat as well. When do your habits happen? Your bad habits happen normally when you're in a bad emotional state, correct? I mean, I would imagine most people would say that. When you're in a good emotional state, you probably trade perfectly well. Like if there was like this thing where like they did, so I can't remember, some study where when you're kind of on the cusp and you're nearly there, like you're nearly at that pro level where you're consistently making money, and they do that, and they take these charts, the equity curves, and the equity curves would be like this, like perfect, up, 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 and then bang, in one go, and then back to zero, and then go again. And it's like, it means that you know how to trade, you know how to make money, but something psychological needs to be worked on. And you can start with your habits, because if you build good habits, you're much more likely to get to that good psychological place. So just do the habit and the results will come, is probably the best advice I could give you on that. Does that kind of make sense? Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, so let us know, guys, if that makes sense to you guys. Alex is saying it's happened to him many times. So also let us know about things that have helped you with your habits or your success. And obviously then that's translated into, maybe it's just something that you've changed in your life. I mean, for me, like you said, you hit the nail on the head, to get to freedom, to then have to create a regime, kind of sends chills down my body. But, the more regimes I add to my life, it's weird. Some of them I resist and some of them I actually grow to enjoy. And they kind of provide like a springboard up. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, we've got similar personalities. So I completely get that, not wanting to be restricted, but you need that structure. So it's like, I guess like that you come to enjoy them when you start to see results, I think is more important. So, or you start to say, like, it could be you're more productive. It could be that, you're hitting the gym consistently. And even when you don't feel like it, like there'll be times like I actually just want to add one thing here because it's important and it might leave my head. Don't overpromise yourself like what you're going to do. In fact, under-promise yourself. What do I mean? Well, don't say, yes, I'm for the next 3 years, I'm going to go to the gym every day. You're going to fail, right? And there's I don't want to get into this, but there's a massive scientific evidence to show that if you consistently fail on your plans, your brain, your subconscious learns not to trust a single word that you say, and you become an unreliable person that always breaks their rules or what they say they're going to do. So start with a small commitment that you believe you can easily keep up with, and if you do better, great. And you can always increase you can always improve. So it's like going to the gym and trying to lift the heaviest weight in the gym, having not trained before or having not trained for 3 years. It doesn't make any sense. You're just going to fail. Whereas if you just say, do you know what, I'm just going to start small. What if I just promise myself for the next, next month, I'm going to go to the gym at least once a week, for example. And I'm going to meditate, I don't know, whatever you think is feasible, once a week or 2 times a week. And set that as a target, whatever it is for you, or whatever your eating habits are. Like if you don't like green vegetables, so maybe you could say, okay, at least once a week I'm going to have a vegetarian meal, whatever. And just set some things that you think, you know what, would these things improve my life if I did them? Do you think I can do them? And then you set yourself a challenge. And I like the buddy system, if I'm honest with you. I think it's good. Use the group and buddy up with somebody to keep you accountable. So if you're in our group, if you're not in our group, join the group. Just in Facebook, Crypto and FX Traders Club. So if you're watching it somewhere else. But if you're in the group, you can ask somebody to buddy up with them. You can even private message them if you want, or just post in the group, hey, want to buddy up with somebody to keep accountable. So somebody, you can say, look, this is what I'm saying I'm going to do, and just set yourself that target. And I think it will really help you improve your trading. And that's why I said before, it seems absurd, but it will improve your trading if you do these things.
Yeah. Well, even just commitment in general, just committing to do something, it strengthens a number of muscles that you don't even know psychologically. Even just like I'm committing to drinking this glass of water, or I'm committing to making a cup of tea, I commit to drinking this cup of tea. As crazy as it sounds like, but if you start actually committing to things and bringing presence to what you're doing, not just in this, and obviously Andy's a master in this, but in other things in your life, you'll find that a lot more opportunities come from making that commitment. 100%, I agree with you. So before we go into your professional trade setup of the week, one thing I thought would be quite interesting is to take a trip down memory lane and to find out, can you remember when you were first starting off, what were some of the things that you struggled with, even maybe just to do with trading? So maybe you couldn't quite understand Fibonacci, maybe you couldn't kind of commit to getting up at a certain time. What were some of the things that you kind of struggled with at the beginning?
Maybe overthinking things. So I felt like maybe I needed to know everything to make the right decision. That was probably something that I remember. And maybe kind of lacking confidence that sort of that what I'd drawn on my chart was correct. I remember sort of when I first started learning this stuff, where you look at patterns and you're like, well, is that a triangle? Is that a wedge? Is that and a lot of the times people would see different things, and then you'd not necessarily agree that they were the same. So kind of like having that lack of doubt about whether the stuff that I was doing and analyzing was correct. And maybe now just thinking about it, that lack of confidence makes a big difference. And I guess right now I realize that actually it doesn't really matter whether it was or not. You just need to have a clear indicator of when you buy and when you sell, and patterns are just patterns. And so, yeah, I probably put too much weight on that back then, and definitely not enough weight on the things that really matter. Which is having that clear, defined plan, an easy way to enter the market, good psychology, good risk management, consistency in what you do. It was more about, like, I remember it now, just kind of thinking, am I drawing the right stuff? Is it correct? And not being sure. Just that I remember that sort of not being sure, not having that confidence that I've got this. And I think it's probably what beginners go through. But the thing is that the thing that I would say about it is, don't put too much weight on that, because it's one of the least important things. Because as long as you have a way of getting into the market, it doesn't really matter how you define it, whether it was a triangle or an octagon. So,
cool. Yeah, and let us know if you're struggling with anything in particular. Priscilla's also said that she's feeling this too. So thank you, Priscilla, for your comment, and also talking about the buddy system. Someone, please identify yourself, Facebook user, because this is a funny one. They're saying, Dan, I think they're referencing Dan Tyler. Let's buddy up to beat Slawomir, the comment king. You can use it for multiple disciplines. Doesn't just have to be for trading. That's 100% for sure. So yeah, it's how did you start to overcome that then? So let's go one step further in that trip down memory lane. What was it that you started to implement to do that?
I think it's just chart time for sure, mentoring. But the biggest lessons, I think when you have a mentor, it helps. Like, they can put you on the right path, they can kind of guide you. But the biggest learner is chart time. So I was kind of saying this to somebody the other day. The more hours you put in, the more intuitive you become. You just start to feel the market and just know. Like I could say to you with absolute certainty, I was sure the market would be up today. Like last night, I could feel it in my bones. It was just really obvious to my psychology, which is why I went in and placed those trades as fast as I possibly could with all the calculations that I had to do, because simply I had to put the kids to sleep and then literally get in my office, because I knew the market would be up and I wanted to make sure I took advantage. So that only happens with screen time. You just can feel a market, and I think the more you do it, the more you'll understand. And that's why you'll realize that actually all the stuff that you waste time on is insignificant. You just, and what I mean by that is if you're spending too much time deciding if a chart pattern is correctly drawn, you're wasting time. Do it as you see it. There are certain things that you have to understand for sure, when a pattern is relevant. So don't draw a reversal pattern when there's nothing to reverse, for example. So you have to know some things. But in general, I think people probably waste time worrying about those things. So just keep studying, keep looking at charts. That's where the real learning happens. Make your predictions, don't hide. Do all your normal things that you do, and keep predicting, keep trading, keep practicing, and it will just click. But definitely get guidance. You want to be put on the right path, and with that guidance as a background, and then chart time, you develop the passion, and things will start to make sense, and you'll start to get things and understand things more, and then you'll get more confident, and it just you'll start to make some money. And then I think that's when it kind of really, you get to another level. I think that's probably the best way of putting it.
Awesome. Cool. Well, thanks a lot for breaking that down. So guys, if you've got a currency pair that you would like Andy to break down now live on the show. It can be any FX currency pair. We like to put him on the spot with our professional trade setup of the week. So now put your comments in for the currency pair that you'd like to break down. Yeah, that's really interesting, mate. I love it when we go back into kind of your past, because obviously it's not an accident that you're here. It's not anything like you say, you know, it's not just God-given talent or anything like that. There is an element of consistency, again, committing to a routine, committing to a process of success, whatever it may be. And I'm sure many people have experienced some form of success in their life with regards to whatever it be, whether it's gym and health, whether it's their dating life, whether it's their relationships, whether it's their own work and their career. And obviously this is no different. I guess some people look at it like a hobby, don't they, mate?
Yeah. You mean trading in general?
Yeah, especially if they start it at the beginning, and maybe that's where they lose that kind of that focus. Maybe I don't know. It's an interesting one for sure. It just came into my head then, so I thought I'd just mention it.
Yeah, I think at the beginning you're just enjoy the process. Don't put too much pressure on yourself, and just start to get an interest in it. And I think once you've developed that interest, then at some point you want to kind of look at this as a part-time business. So there will be some things that you don't necessarily enjoy doing that need to be done, like the admin side of it, because everybody likes to sort of do the exciting part, placing trades, but risk management, journaling, all that stuff is not the exciting stuff. So when you transition from just enjoying it as a hobby to part-time business, then you need to start doing those other things. You need to have a plan, journal, and do the admin side of your trading. And that will basically means that you're now moving over to like taking this seriously, where this is going to be potentially an income for you.
Cool. So we've got a pretty even split on the currency pairs that people want to see. So keep the currency pair requests coming in. Otherwise, I'll randomly pick one in the next 60 seconds or so. Just out of interest, the guys that you worked with on the trading floors at the hedge funds or the banks, did they have very strict kind of routines as well, or was there any kind of like more free spirit type people that surprised you and they were able to succeed in that world?
No, everybody was super disciplined, always on time, always ready, always prepared, eating well, good habits, exercising. That was part of our work. I mean, they paid for us to go to the top sort of health gyms, that kind of stuff. So
cool.
That was a big part of the routine for sure for all of the guys on the floors. Interesting.
I think it's a very popular phrase that success breeds habits, right? And I'm sure maybe we could do a show just whittling off all of these characteristics from your days that have led you to this point, because it's not just you making this stuff up saying what you think should work. Obviously, you've been around it enough and been around enough people, and like you said, you've just seen countless charts. So maybe that's another topic we can do. So thank you for everybody that's been putting the messages in. We have a winner now, which is Cable. So we haven't looked at Cable for a while. So let's jump on and check that out, please.
Yeah, I'll bring it up. Okie dokie. Just give me a sec. I'll just load them all in. Hold on, let me just do a screen share. Let me move that up there. Down here. Okie dokie. Yeah, I'll just do a screen share.
Alvaro, good comment. When are we doing a field trip to a hedge fund? With or without the masks, mate? Maybe you might have to wait if you want to go in as a normal human being again.
Yeah. If you're Alvaro, if you were 15, then yes, we could organise that for you. But I don't think they're going to want grown adults coming into their workspaces. I know we didn't have anyone coming in. Can you see my screen, by the way?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. All right, let's do it, guys. Let me have a quick look. So here's our weekly chart on cable. We are approaching these highs that we had back in 2017. So let me just do a couple of little things here. Let us see what we see. So I wouldn't put a trend line. I would look for more like channel lines here, because this is not really, this has just been kind of channeling down. So I'm just going to connect a couple of bits here, see where there's any support that might be coming in. So we can avoid spikes. And let's see if there's anything interesting here to see. Whoops, control. So here's what I'm going to do. One sec. Just want to make sure that line is correctly put. Very important that we get that. That's fine. And let's have a look. So we need to figure out. I'm going to put in our auto lines, but I'm just going to have a look here first before we put any lines in. So that's quite cool to me. So we got. I'll just also put it here. I see if there's anything there. So these are kind of looking for hidden lines within this structure. And the reason I've put it there as well, there's a bit of support there, and there's some resistance there and some resistance there. And so it's quite relevant here. So we're coming up to some resistance here for sure. So we could be getting to a point of potential retracement. I will put in our weekly levels just to have a quick little look and see if there's anything obvious where we are or up and coming. So let's zoom in and like this. And that's what it looks like right now, guys. So the market has come up and hit this weekly level. It's not a double level, it's just a normal level. We do have a double level here, which is around 133. So, this area here could be a nice area of support. So if this market was to come back, this could be a nice buy zone. Let's also do another couple of little things here. So we'll just see if we can find anything like that. Okay. All right, and I'm going to also add in our FIPS just to see where we are in this little cycle here as well. Okay, so here's the market. It's basically telling us that we have gone from an A, B, C, D, A, B, C, and it's predicting that the high on the weekly is going to come in around here. And you can see we're not far off that now, which is around 143. So I would say, that between 143 and then we have this extension here of the 200, 143 to 148, I would kind of start to be more cautious on the buy side, because this is certainly becoming an area of resistance. So between these two extension points here, the fact that we've got weekly levels, weekly D here, another weekly level there, I would just kind of be a bit wary of that. We'll go and look at the lower time frames. I mean, in terms of that, that's not bearish or bullish. I'd say that's kind of a neutral bar. It's not a real big rejection, it's a small bar. So there's certainly a possibility that cable could definitely attempt and break a bit higher, go and test these highs up here. Potentially even, if I just bring in my pen, we're doing all this work here on the weekly because I need to understand the picture in general so that I can then pinpoint some opportunities on the lower time frame. So I'm just going to sort of tell you what I'm thinking. So there is certainly a possibility that cable could go and test these highs and possibly even a bit higher in this zone here. So there's certainly some room where we can do that. Okay, so we'll go into the lower time frames now. Let's go to the daily and figure out if there's any further information to kind of back this up. So I'm going to just put in my up fibs on the daily to see if we've got any confirmation. And that's quite interesting actually, because this market right now it hasn't pulled back to its Fibonacci numbers. So we would expect, so this is called a fade zone, by the way, and we would expect that the market is going to more likely pull down here. This could be like a double top potentially. So this zone here, really anywhere from where we are to here is potentially a sell zone. But it is rangy. I'm just having a little look to see. I don't know if I've got my MACD on here. Yeah. So one little thing to you can add, guys, is if you have a look at the MACD right now, at the moment there's some divergence. So just kind of look out for potentially a little spike up, maybe. But even here we're kind of same highs, but the MACD's showing some weakness here. It may not be a deep pullback, but we can kind of see in the past to see if the signals have been any good. So let's have a quick little look. So if you look over here, see how this market ended up sort of making a higher high. We've got this divergence here. It took a little while, but then eventually the market fell down. And then if we look here, there was some divergence as well, right? So but this is where the market's making higher highs. So see that the market makes a higher high there, MACD divergence, and then the market pushes down, goes to its 38. At the moment, there's divergence here, but the market hasn't made a higher high. So I would prefer that we spike a little bit higher and then use that divergence to potentially make a move lower down to there. And if we just see if there's any kind of support coming in here. There's a little bit of support there. Yeah, so something like that. Let's use that line. Yeah, that's perfect. See that? So support, resistance, resistance. That looks parallel. So it looks quite nice for a pullback. And I think this is a really nice little level as well, guys. If you have a look here, I'd say you don't have to short this, but that could be a really nice area to buy somewhere in that kind of region. So if you're happy to kind of go against the trend, you can look for confirmation somewhere up here between 142.77, 143.90 would be ideal. And then for a push back down towards these old resistance levels makes sense to me. Let me have a little look at the 4 hours, see if that picture is the same. Okay, let's see where we stand with that. So I am gonna do my up fibs on this one. See where the current cycle ends. So right now, that would be taking us up to, so on the 4-hour chart, if you have a look, it's got a D at 143.76. If we go back to that daily, that's within this bracket here. So that for me looks like the setup, guys. I'd be looking really for this to have another push up, break out, take out that high. We then check, we still have this divergence, and then I'd be looking for this to hold, and then the market to push down towards these lows that we mentioned down here, 135, 134, 133. I'll do one more check, see if there's anything else that we need to gather here, but I'm pretty satisfied with that as a general picture. But it's also very good to see that the hourly is pretty much confirming the same thing. So this is predicting a high of 143.58. I love the fact that we have this 200 here as confirmation, because they often go hand in hand. It ends up being a much stronger signal when you have two extension points. So I think this market pushes up towards 143.60 to 143.80 is, so 143.80, 143.60. I'd be looking for selling opportunities in that zone for a decent correction down. You can look for the long trade as well, but there's not too much room if this is gonna, so I would be more inclined to just not worry about the long trade right now. I'd be more thinking about the short trade, and I would definitely add the DTR as confirmation on the day. And yeah, that's it. That is the setup.
Awesome, mate. That is a drop the mic moment.
Is it?
Great job as usual. Guys, look, if you're new to the group, we've got crypto programs. We'll be talking about crypto tomorrow. We've got FX programs, but Andy himself has designed these indicators over years and years and years, where it used to take him hours to do this stuff. Now he's got these indicators at the click of a button, and we get people asking, like, where do I get more information about these indicators? So if you want more information, just reach out to the team. Maybe we can arrange for like a 14-day trial on the indicators. I'm not sure if that's still live. Maybe we can arrange for you to just get some access for the indicators first. I know that's not something that you generally like to do, because it's mainly just reserved for the students to use once they know the information. But I'm just thinking for people maybe that haven't yet been able to come on the program, maybe there's something we can do with that. So basically there are ways that we can kind of help you and your individual circumstance, I guess, is what I'm trying to say, right?
Yep, definitely. If you're already trading and you know how to trade and you just want to add these tools, then yeah, I'm sure there's something they can do. But you need to know how to trade. You need to understand the markets, because tools on their own mean nothing. So for the more experienced people, I think they will definitely find them useful. If you're a complete beginner, by all means, just you can test them out. But just remember, you're not going to make money just off tools. You need to have that context behind the tools, and then use the tools to help you make more informed decisions, better informed decisions.
Awesome. Wicked. Well, look, mate, unless anybody else has got any other questions, that's it for today's show. So we're looking strong for a sell on cable, guys. That's the pro trade setup of the week for the FX. And then tomorrow we'll be breaking down a crypto trade. Andrew's saying, are the indicators available for use during and after the calls? Yes, most definitely. That it's all built in to accelerate kind of your growth by actually just saving you time. And actually, like what Andy was saying before, when you stressed about drawing in the lines for support and resistance, for example, now you can just click a button and you know that that's done, and that's accurate to professional trader accuracy, because obviously it's what the man here, the man, the myth, the legend himself uses. So yeah, reach out to Dan or Ben, and we can definitely give you some more information about that. Obviously, they're going to be most powerful when you use them in conjunction with the course. So again, if you want to get some more information, then reach out to the guys for that one. Anything else you want to say, mate, before we bounce?
No, that's all. Like if you're completely new, you can do the introduction course. That's a good place to start. But yeah, you just obviously people are in different positions financially, so just do what's right for you. But have in mind that at some point you want to definitely step it up and get some mentoring from somebody. But just kind of be careful not to chase the easy money is what I would say. Don't think, I've heard it before. People follow signals to make the money to then go and learn. It doesn't really work like that. You have to just take your time if you're not in a financial position to get a mentor. But start with our introduction course. I think it's a good place to start. There's some good stuff in there. We've got good feedback from it, and be part of this group and focus on learning. You can focus on learning things to improve your mindset, focus on your habits, those kinds of things, as we said before on today's show. And that's
awesome.
all, guys.
And who's going to do a 5-minute meditation this week? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So Dan's just posted the link for the intro course. So that'll help you guys. If you do want to decide that you're interested in whether this is the right place for you to kind of really ramp up and take your education to the next level. Andy and I recorded a webinar where he basically breaks down his background and how he's come to know all of this. And it goes on for almost a couple of hours. So you might want to watch it over 2 parts. But everybody that's watched that has got so much value out of it. There's some real golden nuggets. Obviously, Andy can only teach so much in 15 minutes during a live show. But there are different ways of doing it. Facebook user, we don't know who you are that's endorsing us, but it's a brilliant course. Thank you very much for that. And yeah, just, post the questions in the group. There'll be students that are doing well, and obviously they can give you the answers that you want, or just reach out to Dan and Ben. That's it from us. We'll be back tomorrow with Crypto Like a Pro. So 12 o'clock midday GMT. We'll see you there, guys.
See you guys.
I'm not going to press the button this week.
Oh, what button?
Might as well, actually.
Just to catch me out again.
That was too quick. I couldn't get you then.
Yeah.